bunny lovers. So welcome back to Binky Bunny's Rabbitry. If you didn't see the first video, my name is Chelsea Mills and I am the owner of Binky Bunny's Rabbitry here in Smithfield. So today's video is going to be a, I have notes right here, so if you see me looking over, that's why. But this video is going to be a what do you need when you bring home a rabbit. So let's just get started. So the first thing you're going to need when you bring home a rabbit is a carrier. There are a lot of different kinds of carriers out there. There's, you know, the hard side, the hard-sided carriers and like the soft-sided carriers. It doesn't really matter which one you get as long as it's big enough to hold your rabbit, and make sure that they can make a 360-degree turn in it so that way they're comfortable. So they're not going to like feel like they're, you know, claustrophobic or anything. So first thing is a carrier. That way you can, you know, bring them home, because you don't want to hold them when you bring them home because, you know, they could get hurt, or if you get in an accident, they could get even more hurt you holding them. So they're just safer in the carrier. And then also, of course, taking them to the vet. So that's why you're gonna need a carrier. So the next thing you're going to need is an X pen or some kind of thing to put them in. I don't believe in cages, like the tiny cages. I think they're way too small. And I also think that free roaming is the best idea, but since I am a breeder, I don't free roam because they poop everywhere since they're not fixed. But an X pen also, even if you do free roam, you'll need an X pen for litter box training. So that's very, very, very important, because you can put them in a tiny area, put the litter box in, and then they'll learn, hey, that's where I need to go to the bathroom. So an X pen is important whether or not you're gonna free roam. And then if you aren't free roaming, the X pen is where they're going to be living. So X pen is very important. Hay. Hay is very, very, like the most important thing about getting a rabbit. It probably is more important than actually it is more important than the X pen or the carrier. But hay is 85% of a rabbit's diet, so hay is extremely important. Now there are a lot of different types of hay that you can get. If you are adopting a baby bunny that's younger than 6 months old, you need to get alfalfa hay, because their guts are still growing and they are in general still growing. So the alfalfa hay has a lot more nutrients and calcium in it that can give them what they need. So after 6 months of age, you can start giving them like any kind of grass hay, like orchard grass or Timothy hay or whichever. But what you want to do is slowly introduce it. So like what we're doing is our alfalfa hay is kind of mixed in with Timothy, so it's alfalfa and a Timothy grass. So that way their bodies are getting used to the Timothy hay. So that way when we give them Timothy hay when they're older, their bodies are already used to it. So hay is extremely important because they need hay 24/7 because their teeth are continuously growing. So they need stuff to be chewing on 24/7. Next thing is pellets. Pellets are not, you know, too important. People say that, or like if you go to a pet store, people will tell you that pellets are a rabbit's main diet, and that is not true at all. Pellets are more like a side dish or a little treat or a little snack. So, you can, like what we do is we give them 1/8 cup a day. So we give them half of the 1/8 cup in the morning and then half of it at night for both the babies and the adults. So for the babies, it's going to be alfalfa-based pellets, and then for the adults, it's going to be Timothy-based pellets. So, and again, you don't give them a lot, because if you give them too much, if you give them too much of it, they won't eat the hay that they need. They'll start wanting to have more of the pellets instead of eating their hay. So that's why you only give them small, especially the babies. If you give the babies a lot of pellets, they'll want to eat more pellets than they will hay. So that's why you give them a little bit of pellets so they don't, you know, eat all the pellets and they're like, oh, I'm not hungry anymore, I'm not gonna eat the hay. That's bad. So the next thing you're gonna need are veggies, like any type of leafy greens except for iceberg. Iceberg doesn't have the nutrients that rabbits need. But also, veggies are not important until after the rabbit is 6 months old. So if you get a baby rabbit from a breeder, which is like what I am, you won't give them veggies for a while. But if you're getting a bunny from like a shelter and you're adopting, then depending on the age of the bunny, which shelters, you know, they mostly have older bunnies, you'll want to give them veggies because that's, you know, most of their diet besides hay. So veggies after 6 months of age. And then also slowly introduce the veggies. Don't just, once they turn 6 months, don't just be like, oh, here's your veggies. Kind of slow, once they are 6 months of age, kind of slowly, like give them a little bit. And the next day, give them a little bit more. You gotta slowly introduce the veggies because their gut is so sensitive. So you have to be you have to be sensitive about their gut. So just slowly introduce new foods that you're going to be feeding your bunnies. So the next thing is food and water bowls. I have one bowl in my pens, in my boy pen too, because I scatter feed. It kind of makes them, you know, search for stuff. So that's what I like to do. So they're looking for their food, which they like to do because they're foragers. But if you want to actually put your pellets and food into a bowl, food bowls and water bowls are important. But get the ceramic bowls because bunnies will tip the bowls over. But if you get ceramic bowls, they won't be able to tip it over. So ceramic or glass, you know, just something that they can't tip over. So bowls are very important. Litter box. Now, if you go to the pet store, the litter boxes that they try to sell you, like the little corner things, those don't work. Pretty much anything in a pet store, if it has the word rabbit on it, it's probably not gonna work for your rabbit because like the food is just bad and it has like a lot of extra stuff the rabbit doesn't need. The cages are awful. I mean, there's a few things at a pet store that are fine, but most of it's not. But anyway, litter box. It needs to be a cat-sized litter box that can make a 360-degree turn in, just like the carrier. So, like, cat-sized litter boxes are perfect. You can get the hooded one or not. Just they need to be able to make a 360-degree turn. And what kind of goes along with the litter box is bedding. So, what most people do is they put a puppy pad into it. We don't really, well, we kind of do that. You put a puppy pad in the litter box, and then you put bedding on one side and then hay on one side. Well, we have a litter box that's big, but it's graded. So we put the puppy pad in the litter box, and then we put wood stove pellets in it, which is also fine if you want to do wood stove pellets instead of paper-based pellet or paper-based litter. That's fine too. Just don't use cat litter because that's dusty and it'll mess with the rabbit's system. But yeah, so we have like I said, we have a graded litter box. So we take off the little graded part, put puppy pad and then some wood stove pellets, and then we put the grate back on. And then we have a hanging hay thing, like a hay, what do they call it? Hay bag. We have a hanging hay bag for that's over the litter box, so the litter box doesn't get too messy and it's just easy to clean it. But if you want to put hay in your litter box, that is totally fine. Just remember, the litter box has to be able to make a 360-degree turn. The next thing is toys. Toys are very important because, again, rabbits love to chew because their teeth are always growing. So toys will stimulate them and will keep their teeth from overgrowing. So you can give them anything, you know, like cardboard boxes or any safe toys. Like, I'm trying to think of some, like the pet stores have some that you can get. Small Pet Select probably has some. Amazon has some. You just have to be careful on the toys you buy. But yeah, so just look up like small businesses that cater to rabbits. That could probably help you find a lot of stuff. Also, the next thing you need to get is a Heidi House. Rabbits are prey animals, so they do like to hide. So get a Heidi House, but make sure that the Heidi House has 2 entrances, because what was that? because a bunny, you know, likes to be able to escape. So make sure the house has 2 entrances so they can escape easily. And another thing you're gonna need is treats. For the babies, if you wanna give the babies treats, just use their pellets, since like I said, they don't eat a lot of the pellets anyway. Use the pellets because the pellets are not gonna hurt their gut. So, cause again, they're young and their gut is growing. So you don't wanna give them like fruits or anything like that until they're 6 months of, 6 months of age. So until they turn 6 months, if you wanna train them to do tricks or anything, give them some of their pellets. Now when they're 6 months old, you can start giving them like, apple, a little bit of apple, a little bit of blueberry, carrots, whatever is safe for your rabbit, which you can do research on that, but just be careful because again, their gut is growing. So you just gotta be careful when you introduce new stuff. And then the last thing that you're going to need is grooming supplies. Now, you probably won't need this right away, especially if you're getting a baby bunny. Baby bunnies don't shed as much as the adults do, so you probably won't need one when they're super young, but when they start to get older, you'll notice that they're shedding, so that's when you're going to need grooming supplies. I have the hair buster, which is great. You can look it up, or I'll leave a link down below for it, but that's a great brush. It's awesome. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There's, of course, other stuff that you can get, but those are the main things that you will need when you actually bring your rabbit home. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, bunny lovers.